Servus und Hallo, hier ist der Videospieler, ich spiele weiter Yesterday Origins. Ich bin jetzt wieder in der Vergangenheit angelangt, im Kloster, hier als junger John Yesterday, beziehungsweise dann noch der Sohn des Dukes. Wir haben gesehen, wie ein Mönch gestorben ist, als er nur ein Buch angeguckt hat, von dem er nicht mal was lesen konnte. Und das ist sicher das Buch, das wir brauchen. 2 nights ago, after one of your recurring nightmares, you entered the scriptorium only to find Giuseppe descending from the lamp.
Shh, don't tell a soul. We'll have a good laugh tomorrow. I'm going to make Brother Bottillo lose some weight.
You hadn't remembered that until today. Und jetzt? Was ist dann passiert? What's that on Giuseppe's desk? An empty spool of thread. He'll never sit there again. He'll never throw rice grains or pebbles at you, or spit at you. Damn book. Only Toribio, Gini's favorite copyist, is allowed to touch the books on those shelves. It rings when Father Genius calls for Toribio, his favorite pupil. Also, den müssen wir zum Klingeln bringen, dann geht er weg und dann kann ich da die Bücher in Angriff nehmen.
Nah, the other day, when Brother Bottillo was sleeping and Hines was not in his study, I snuck in through this window. It's a bit risky and not an easy feat, but oh, the pleasure that comes from knowing that I could steal something from our superior if I so desired.
Okay, ein Fenster. If only Genius had listened when he asked to read the book before Giuseppe. Brother Toribio, Scriptorium cohort by chance, observant at will, and son of a bitch by right. Gucken wir mal an. He's only a few years older than you, but the dear Lord has decided to bless him with an extreme tonsure. Bottillo, the Iberian delicacy, is pork intestine filled with all kinds of meat and tied with a string. 5 seconds after Giuseppe heard of this dish for the first time, Toribio had a new nickname. You still remember the time when Giuseppe filled it with cochineal pigment, the type they used to make red dye. When Toribio draped the hood over his head, he screamed just like a pig being slaughtered. A man on a practically new habit. How did he rip it? Hat er wahrscheinlich was drin versteckt? Jetzt meine Vermutung. Did he even try to help Giuseppe? No, the dirty rat. Brother Toribio screamed. Hab ich schon gelesen.
Say, Toribio? About last night.
Nothing happened last night. Nothing!
Do you think that Hines knew what was going to happen?
You take that back. Father Hines is a saint, not a murderer.
Where's the library?
I don't know.
Come on, you often disappear with Brother Hines. I'm sure that's where he takes you.
Of course. I'm the best copyist in the Abbey. And who else would he trust to copy the secret books?
And?
He always blindfolds me, just like last night. It's better that way. I won't won't have to resist the temptation of reading heretic texts.
When Giuseppe started to bleed, you did nothing to help him.
It was the devil's doing. That was Satan's blood. It could have contaminated me.
I helped him.
Oh ja,
Then get
genau.
away from me.
Later, upon returning to my cell, I thought I heard whipping in yours.
That's not true.
Do you remember that the abbot prohibited self-flagellation? Do you?
Why? Why can't a pious man pay for his evil deeds?
What evil deed did you perform last night? I thought nothing had happened.
Go with God.
Gibt's denn noch Spannendes? You won't sit at your desk until you face Giuseppe's murderer, the book in the secret library. Ist da was Spannendes? Nein, was liegt denn da auf der Fensterbank? It's the blindfold you wore last night to go to the secret library. A strange feeling overcomes you. You're suddenly terrified of touching it. Du bist aber trotzdem. You gather your courage and, upon touching it, as if spawned by the devil himself, the little man from your nightmare sneaks into your head.
Before you can control the unknown sense, you must first learn to see through the eyes of yesteryear, young disciple. Your mind stores every single detail of everything you've seen. Close your eyes and say goodbye to today. Focus, breathe, then open them anew. And yesterday is here again.
Oh, yesterday is here again. Das kann ich mir alles ganz genau angucken. Some peculiar monks. Isn't it strange that you've never seen these stained glass windows in the monastery? And yet you know you've never left the building. Gines de Orduña, your teacher and tutor. Dark rings under his eyes reveal his love of reading. Will you have them too in a few years? The delicate, clean hands of someone who'd rather let others do his dirty work. Had it not been for him, you would have been killed by the Inquisition 3 years ago. There are things you'll never dare ask, Genius.
When the Inquisition captured me, you found the dead body of my friend Alonzo, whose recently deceased corpse could pass as my own. Isn't that too much of a coincidence?
I believe you have reached your own conclusion. But remember what I always tell you. Chance does not exist. It is Satan's hand. And sometimes it uses our own to achieve its goals.
You said you appreciate me for my talent with languages. What will happen the day I'm no longer useful?
Have you ever seen me do someone harm? Don't fret. Although, you are the devil's son. How could you ever cease to be useful?
There are things you never dare to ask, Genius.
You knew that Giuseppe would die upon reading the book, didn't you?
All I had were suspicions, the same as you.
You wonder what that murderous book contains. What is Genius searching for in its pages? Will you ever see Giuseppe again? Yes, in slowly fading memories, such as this one. If you could only talk to Giuseppe once again.
Why did you have to die?
Who knows? Those Greek gods you love used to claim the beautiful first. And I don't mean to brag, but between you, Botillo, and me, there's just no comparison.
I will never forget you, brother.
Botillo sure won't forget me. At least not until you find out why Father Gines calls him so much.
Did Gines give you a proper Christian burial as promised?
I think you know the answer better than I do. Whether you're ready to admit it is another story.
Your best and why not only friend in Santa Brigida. Why did he ever read that book? It was Father Diego who told him, keep acting like a demon and the Inquisition will end up examining that mole. In the words of Giuseppe himself, the Franciscan hood is the best place to hide something you don't want to reveal. I need to focus to remember every detail. I must be forgetting something. The visible mark of your first clerical rank, the beginnings of your path towards the sacerdotal order. Keine Ahnung. According to the Franciscan rule, the hood must not be so large as to cover one's face. If you had to go out in this freezing weather, you'd be thankful this weren't the case. You wish Genius had heard him when he asked to read the book before Giuseppe. Ja, schon alles angeguckt. If you had a chance to be completely honest with Toribio, what would you tell him?
I respect you, in spite of it all. It's not easy to observe the rule of St. Francis these days.
And why don't you observe it as well?
Science, logic, and history bid me otherwise. I feel like neither Giuseppe nor I have been just with you. For that, I apologize.
I knew you would come to your senses as soon as that Italian devil lost his grip on you. Dead dogs don't bite.
You disgust me. You're a clueless, tattletale, brown nose who doesn't understand what he copies. And it's not just the books. It's the rule of St. Francis and all of that meaningless nonsense you observants constantly repeat.
I'd rather be a brown nose than end up covered in shit, Brother Iago. And that's exactly how you'll end up.
Ja, okay. Hä? He doesn't speak, read, or write. The perfect accomplice and confidant. Confidant. Das ist doch der aus dem Rollstuhl aus der Villa. Stimmt. A blind eye, or not. Giuseppe once mocked him from that side, thinking that he wouldn't see him. Ursus grabbed him by the throat, raised him in the air, grunted, and finally let him go. Giuseppe had a hangman's throat for months. Ursus lost his speech after the fire that caused those scars. No wonder does the throat, along with the mouth, have something to do with the ability to emit sounds? He never goes anywhere without his rosary. You wonder what it means to him. When focusing on the back area of the library, you recall a faint melody. Hymns! The good news is that knowing that the chapel is near reduces the search area considerably. The bad news is that this area is still enormous. Aber immerhin. Oh, und da bin ich jetzt wieder draußen. Ah, da kann ich wieder zurück. Oh, was habe ich da? Salt, essential in the winter months when ice jams the hinges on doors and windows, especially in the wing of the abbey. Mal gucken. Paper, the second most coveted commodity amongst the abbey's copyists. Novices like you don't have access to the first of these prized possessions, ink. Ein Zirkel. Wirklich schon alles mit ihm hier besprochen?
Nah, dear, it's a bit...
Nee, eben nicht.
What are you copying?
A text lacking in righteousness. Hortensius by Cicero.
If the book is everything you say it is, why are you copying it?
Because that cursed Father Ezekiel is contaminating the soul of our dear abbot. He manipulates him with his science and his art to lead him off the righteous path. I wouldn't rule out the use of magic either.
But was it not the very same book that led St. Augustine of Hippo to embrace faith?
What's that? Oh, yes, but God can write straight on crooked lines. That does not prove that the book is not impure. Furthermore, St. Augustine was a sinner before he was a saint. Grant me chastity and continence, but not yet. Pervert.
What do you think happened exactly?
Didn't I tell you already? It was the devil's doing. He has possessed that book.
I thought the devil specialized in possessing people.
Are you really that naive? He can possess the very air you breathe. I heard that about 2 years ago, in a village far away, the devil possessed a hog so that it would devour the son of a noble.
That's amazing.
Das wohl her, die Geschichte.
You must be thrilled now that Giuseppe is dead. No one will ever call you Botillo again.
Shh! Remember, we know nothing.
Calm down. I'm not going to tell anyone.
But the devil can hide anywhere. Only God knows who is watching us and where from.
Ja, genau. The devil.
You must be thrilled. Shh! What was that, Brother Botillo? I can't hear you.
You're acting just like him. I expected more out of you.
Ja, ich bin gemein.
May I take some books from the shelf?
Absolutely not. It's time to write, not to read.
Also gut. Buch will er mir keins geben. Ah, hier geht's raus. Ever since Giuseppe sprinkled them with pepper dust and chaos ensued, no one has lighted them again. Pfeffer. Its hate prevents others from spying in on value work.
May I come in, Father Hines?
My door is always open to you, Brother Iago.
As you approach him, you notice something. The key that the genius carried last night before he blindfolded you. Ganz schnell versteckt.
I don't understand why you always favor Brother Toribio.
You are the better pupil, no doubt, but you'll be better off if you draw a little attention to yourself. On the other hand, commending Brother Toribio helps me win over those he sucks up to, the observants.
Good.
What do you think of Father Ezekiel?
He stands up to the observants and understands the world through reason. So brave, and yet so naive. The only reason that governs this world is that of your father, the devil. I do prefer him over that gang of lunatics, no doubt. But I must proceed with caution and not show him too much esteem. By the way, he should be showing me how that printing press of his works sometime soon.
Ihr habt gleich eine ganze Armee vor euch.
I know you're not fond of Father Diego and the other observants.
How could I be? Their insistence on returning to the rule of St. Francis is ridiculous. Their idea of poverty makes me laugh. You need money to preserve the knowledge of books, and a full stomach to think with clarity.
But you pretend to like them.
I must. If not, they'd rally against me in my library. They'd find out what I'm hiding, sooner or later, and they wouldn't like it.
Remigio.
Don't you think our abbot is a saint?
Oh, no doubt. He has a view of the future, and would certainly embrace anything that Father Ezekiel and the like propose. But he knows that without the observance, he would lose his grip over the monastery. That's why he tries to please them. And he's not the only one.
What makes you so attached to Ursus?
His gratitude, just as yours, bonds me to you.
You saved Ursus's life as well? What had he done?
Oh, I don't even remember.
You've forgotten?
When the Inquisition wants to execute someone, they don't need an excuse. Who cares?
I don't understand why
you are the best. On the other...
Haben wir schon. Das Gespräch führe ich beim nächsten Mal fort. Ich merke, ich bin gerade viel zu müde. Ich sage tschüss, bis zum nächsten Mal. Euer Videospieler. Dieses Video ist nun vorbei, aber wenn es euch gefallen hat, dann schaut doch mal meine anderen Videos an, abonniert meinen Kanal, folgt mir auf Twitter oder unterstützt mich finanziell auf Patreon. Vielen Dank.